We look back now to a player that played for North Carolina and was such a good all-around player for you, Coach Matt Doherty.
Matt Doherty did start some as a freshman in 1981. Of course, on our championship team of '82, he was a starter, and he was as a junior and a senior. He was with Sam Perkins in that class of '84 that was really a great basketball team.
Yes.
Matt actually was a great passer, and playing with Sam, and then he had the 3 years with 3 years with Michael. He had a lot of open shots, and he had never been open so much,
Right.
and that might have bothered him. But he was a great defensive player. He was helpful to the team, and I think he'll be an outstanding coach. He chose coaching over business. He's making a lot of money in business, but he's happy to be coaching.
Brought to you today, this talk with Matt Doherty by the Red Roof Inn.
While Matt Doherty was enjoying an excellent basketball career in Carolina, a career that included a national championship in 1982, he was preparing for life in the real world. Doherty took his bachelor's degree in business administration to New York, where he got a job as a stockbroker. It took a few years on Wall Street for Doherty to realize that he wanted to get back into basketball, but this time as a coach.
I'm working on Wall Street, a career I thought that I would enjoy. I enjoyed it for a little while, and then I realized it wasn't me. I think there's a key when you start hitting the snooze button on your alarm clock 5 times in the morning, then it's telling you need to make a career change. And I made that change. I walked in and told my boss, I said, I'm leaving. And he said, well, what time are you coming back? You know, like he thought I was leaving for lunch. I said, no, you don't understand. I'm leaving.
After spending 2 years at Davidson under his former high school coach, Bob McKillop, Doherty is coaching under one of his former Carolina coaches, Roy Williams, at Kansas.
I love what I do for a living. To be able to get up in the morning and be excited about what you're doing. You know, Coach Smith always said, you got to enjoy what you're doing. He said, if I didn't coach at North Carolina, I'd probably be a high school coach somewhere. And so I agree. I don't regret that one bit. It's probably the best decision I ever made, besides marrying my wife, Kelly.
Doherty says Roy Williams runs the Kansas program very much like the way Dean Smith runs North Carolina's.
Obviously, their styles of play are very similar, but they're also not similar in some ways. Coach Williams he's Roy Williams. He's not Dean Smith, and he's smart enough to understand that I've got to be myself because players and people can recognize a phony a mile away. So he's Roy Williams, and as a result, he has his own style. He gets fired up maybe a little quicker than Coach Smith does. He'll raise his voice a little bit more. He plays a little bit differently. We probably play a little faster, but if an outsider comes in and looks at a Carolina practice and then looks at the Kansas practice, they probably could close their eyes or see it on tape, and it'll be pretty much the exact same thing.
It's always nice to visit with Matt Doherty, an outstanding young man, going to be an outstanding coach also, and North Carolina and the Kansas program, obviously both of them at the very top of the ladder. We're going to come